us to get to talk. I know so many of you that are connected with me have tumultuous relationships with your parents. You have so much. Oh, that's so sweet. They have so much. You guys have so much, and some of you don't have hope, or you've lost hope that you'll ever have a relationship or a connection with your mom or dad. And I hope that this conversation and whatever questions that you may have, just hearing it from my mom's perspective, will give you more hope and understanding and compassion and patience. Honestly, I didn't think that me and my mom would ever have this type of relationship that we do now. And I can honestly say that my mom is one of my best friends, and she does really know me now. And it wouldn't have happened if I was just too scared to speak my truth. And it also wouldn't happen if my mom wasn't willing to listen and hear me out. So the topic that we're focusing on is like, time does not heal all wounds. And we can see that with our family, right? We can see that with our moms and dads who are in their 60s, 70s, and they're still struggling, and they still have maladaptive ways of coping, and they still shut down, and they still don't want to hear it or hold themselves accountable. So time does not heal all wounds, but what you do at that time heals those wounds. So I'm going to just leave it over. Mom, introduce yourself.
I'm Kristen's mom. Yeah, and I've been on this journey for 2 years or more, and I'm feeling a lot better today than I did 2 years ago. So time per se,
Turn the air down.
I would say does heal as long as you're doing the work with it. It's not something you just snap your finger and say, okay, I'm over it. Been there, done that. There are processes that you're going through. There are ups and downs, there are valleys. You just have to get control of your situation and be the leader of it. Otherwise, all the anxiety and depression and stuff that I feel, it's like it's ruling me instead of me being in control. So I've learned to kind of not think every time I have a moment, it means that is anxiety. I am human. There are other things that go on with pain and disappointment too. But I have just become more aware. Just being aware of what's happening in my head, what that means. I really talk to myself a lot and say, okay, Carolyn, that's it. It's not it. Just keep moving forward. And so thanks to Kristen, probably would not have faced as much as I faced. I'm vulnerable. I'm open to see what it is and see what I can do to improve it, because I don't want to live in this is temporary. This is what she told me. She said, oh my gosh, why is my head, why do I feel so exploding here, And a few days, I haven't had that. I even had to check in and recognize that. Say, God, something's wrong here. I'm feeling normal. I need to express that. I said, okay, because every day of my life, I am not going crazy. Here are moments that are showing me that I am making progress. And
so much progress, Mom.
Yeah, and want to continue to make progress, even though I'm making it, living in my little castle by myself, and I don't have a boyfriend. Okay.
So, Mom, so how did you? Let's take it back 2 years, and also we don't have to go into certain details, but how did you feel initially when I started bringing up all my truth to you at once? And I know it was very overwhelming.
Oh, wow.
How was it initially for you? Because I know that a lot of people who are watching, they already say, I know my mom's not going to hold themselves accountable. My mom doesn't care about how I feel, so it doesn't matter if I say anything. And I had similar feelings, but it did matter that I said something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so what can you, give them, I guess, the perspective of what their parents are maybe going through when they lay all this stuff. You didn't do this, you hurt me here.
Well, it's a lot, and if you have not had the relationship of communication and that was open, it's going to be hard for you to hear stuff, that your child is saying what happened. And if you sit and think about it a little bit, you get the feeling that you were not as a good teacher as you probably could have been. Your kid is watching you, and picking up stuff. And I think I was just living life and just going through life instead of living it. And trying to take care of a family and made some mistakes. I'm first to say that, maybe the second. She's the first and the second one to say that. Yeah, made some mistakes. So your parents, It's hard. It's hard. My father's 92, and I'm telling him things, but I tell him in a certain way because I just can't continue to hear him say something that's not true or behave in a certain manner. So I have to correct him, and sometimes that's hard. But that's because I've got that from I'm open to it, and I see how things that we do and say do affect us. Do affect us even late in life. I'm like went to bed last night sitting here at Kristen's house, and my mind wouldn't let me go to sleep right away, and I just went through a whole list of abuses that I had all my life and all the people. So I'm going to write all those names down. It'll probably take up 2 sides of the paper of what happened to me growing up, and those things have affected how I behave today.
How long ago was some of those abuses?
Oh my goodness, like 60 years.
60?
Yeah.
So when we say that time does not heal all, something happened to my mom 60 years ago.
And I just told my dad 2 years ago.
Wow.
About it. Okay, yeah. And I'm just sitting here remembering this guy did this happened. That should not have happened, and hopefully I can put it all on paper, burn it up, and throw it away, because it did affect me in some manner or another. It did.
Yeah. And it's crazy how the trauma gets passed down,
Yeah.
when we don't talk about it. So how detrimental has it been not really talking about the things that are hurting us, how much we suppress things, and how many of your parents are literally suppressing so much stuff, and it shows in their actions and their behaviors and their emotional unavailability, because that's one of the main things I think that hurt me the most growing up, that that we've talked about, is that I didn't feel like you were emotionally available. I could feel how uncomfortable you were when I had big feelings.
Right.
And why was that?
Well, what I've learned since we're on this journey of going back in time, I found out that my natural mother gave me up at 7 months old. Went to a party and didn't come home. And so my 20-year-old dad had to raise me, and I was breastfed. So just looking at that, my questions were, well, where was my milk after that? Who kept me while my father had to work? Other people did. And so I have like a span of time from being born to about 8 years old where I didn't get any love and kisses and caressing and talks about, oh, my beautiful daughter, you're going to be this, you're going to be that. I didn't get that. So I didn't know how to do that for a long, long time. I love my children, especially, particularly babies, cuddle and stuff. But as they grew up, I think I was not as close because I had the responsibility of parenting now.
You're a single parent.
And single, and I had to work sometimes 2 or 3 jobs. So I wish I could go back and revisit or live that time when I would take the time and listen to them, because some of the things that they missed, I missed, because my folks didn't always show up for my events, and I know how that feels. Now I think I was a little bit better than that, but that's what happens over time. So you pick up bad tools to use with your children, and until you know better, you're going to keep using them, and it keeps passing down to the next generation.
Wow. Yeah.